Hey, what's going on, Dodgers Nation? Doug McCain here. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMAC_LA. For all things Dodger baseball all off season long, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you want to see us post even more Dodgers content, smash that like button. And as always, I want your takes down below in the comment section. Today's Dodgers Nation question of the day. Do you think the Dodgers ultimately re-sign Chris Taylor? And if so, what will his contract look like? And also, do you think the Mariners or the Angels are real threats to sign Chris Taylor? I want all your takes down below in the comment section. And for all latest Dodgers news, head over to DodgersNation.com. So CT3 was the MVP for the Dodgers in the postseason. He led LA with a 12.02 OPS, 4 home runs. He was tied for first with 4 doubles. He was second behind Mookie Betts in hits with 13 to Mookie's 15, but more extra base hits. He had that massive 3-homer game. He hit the walk-off shot in the wild card game to send the Dodgers to the NLDS. And if you look at his regular season, he slashed 254, 344, 438, had a 113 WRC plus a 3.1 WAR. And if you look at his numbers, yes, the strikeout rate was up a bit. The walk rate was also up from 2019, but down from 2020. And if you look at his last 5 years as a whole, he's slashing 266, 344, 464 with a 118 WRC plus. So the bottom line is the paper chaser made himself some money in 2021. He put himself in a great position in a contract year to go out and get paid. And after the Dodgers lost to the Braves in Game 6 of the NLCS, CT3 was asked about his impending free agency, and here's what he had to say.
I don't know what's going to happen. All I can say is I've loved every minute I've been a Dodger, and I have no idea what's going to happen this offseason, but I've the last 4 seasons, 5 seasons, I guess I've been here. It's been amazing, and I'm so thankful that I had the opportunity to play for the Dodgers. No, I wasn't thinking about that. I was trying to win a game, and all those feelings, they creep in now, but no, not during the game.
So I've seen people out there saying, oh, this almost sounds like he's saying goodbye to the Los Angeles Dodgers, talking about them in the past tense, saying that he enjoyed every minute of being a Dodger, almost as if he won't be a Dodger again. The only way that I read into this was that he loved being a Los Angeles Dodger, because if he loved being in LA, that means that they could get him to stay. Now, what does that mean as far as what kind of contract the Dodgers will offer Chris Taylor? Well, I think that he's going to want a contract, something along the lines of 4 to 5 years in the $65 to $75 million range. Now, I've heard a lot of people compare him to Ben Zobrist. And yes, Ben Zobrist, he was that super utility man. He signed a 4-year, $56 million deal with the Cubs back in 2015. And yes, that is an apt comparison, but it's a little different because, one, when he signed that deal, he was 35. Chris Taylor, he just turned 31. And also, so much was made about his positional versatility when in reality, he was playing second base and the corner outfield spots. At this point in Chris Taylor's career, he can play shortstop. He can play third base, second base. He can play center and the corner outfield spots. I think at this point in Chris Taylor's career, he's younger, he's more athletic. When it comes to that positional versatility that these organizations covet, Chris Taylor defensively does that at a better level. Now, Ben Zobrist, his peak in 2009, he had a better peak when it comes to offensively when he was with the Tampa Bay Rays, but I think what Chris Taylor offers is that postseason pop that a lot of these teams that haven't been in the postseason for quite some time might be looking for. Teams like the Angels and teams like the Mariners. He has that postseason pedigree. He can get it done in October. He's also extremely durable, and if you're the Angels, you need a guy like a Chris Taylor, a guy that can plug into different spots, a guy that can produce offensively, and then if you're Seattle, would you want to reunite with CT3? So So much has been made how they traded Chris Taylor for Zach Lee. Well, would this be a way for them to right their wrong and put him back on the Mariners? Because they have tons of money to spend this offseason. He'd be a great guy to put in there, and he could give Mitch Haniger some time at the DH spot. And look, there's just so many teams around the league that could use Chris Taylor, and I do think his market will be more robust than people might expect, especially coming off his first All-Star appearance. He had that massive postseason run where he just exploded, and there's going to be teams out there that want a player like Chris Taylor that you can plug in whenever someone gets injured. You know your best ability is your availability, and I think teams are going to value the fact that he can post, that you can throw him in there at a multitude of different positions, and he can get it done. I think the New York Yankees could potentially be in the mix. The Chicago Cubs could potentially be in the mix. And I also think the reputation of Dodger players will help Chris Taylor. You see what Jock Peterson has been able to do with the Atlanta Braves. You see what Kike Hernandez was able to do this season and in the postseason. People understand that the Dodgers know how to develop their players, and if you get your hands on one of them, they could provide value. Now, I do think the Seattle Mariners are interesting. The Angels are interesting. I think there's so many teams that could benefit from having Chris Taylor on their squad, but also just look at what Kike Hernandez got last year. A 2-year, $14 million deal with the Boston Red Sox, and if you look at their WAR numbers throughout the years, they're very similar, and next year FanGraphs, they project Chris Taylor will have a 2.8 offensive WAR, a 0 defensive WAR, and an overall WAR of 2.4. Now, compared to Kike Hernandez, they project him to have a 2.7 overall WAR next year. Their WAR per 650 plate appearances is very similar as well. Now, I think that means a couple of things. I think it means, one, Kike entered the market after a 60-game season when the owners, they were trying to cut back on costs. You didn't have as much cash being thrown around, and also Chris Taylor has more career WAR than Kike had when he entered his free agency. And I also think that Chris Taylor just has more momentum having come off that first All-Star appearance, what he did in the postseason. I think that Chris Taylor is in a great spot to get himself a big bag. I don't think that teams are going to necessarily back up the Brinks truck for him, but I could see a team like the Mariners overpaying for him just to get him away from the Dodgers, just to find a way to get some guys up there in Seattle, and they realize that, hey, they made a mistake by letting him go in the first place. But I think at the end of the day, Chris Taylor is going to accept a contract with the Dodgers if they make him a competitive offer. Remember last year, they had no interest in bringing back Kike Hernandez or Jock Peterson. Maybe the Dodgers, they learned that you can't just give away all your depth. You have to bring back some of these core guys that have gotten you to this point, and I think the Dodgers have learned from last year's offseason, giving Bauer all that money without even making an attempt to re-sign Jock Peterson or Kike Hernandez. And then also, here's another factor. The Dodgers, they don't have that guy in mind that's going to step in for Chris Taylor and be what he has been for this Dodgers team. There is no guy that's magically out there within the organization that can do the things that he does, that can give you that positional versatility, that can hit for power, give you 20 home runs, that can make an all-star team, and on top of that, buy into the role that you have for him. Yes, you have Gavin Lux, and it does feel like they're almost trying to groom him into this guy that can have this positional versatility, but you saw what he did in the outfield in the postseason. He did not look right in center field. Yes, I think he could get it done in the corner outfield spots, but he can't play center field like Chris Taylor at this point in his career, and I think the Dodgers, they realized that. Last year, they thought Zach McKinstry could be that guy that could fill Kike Hernandez's shoes, and they proved that he couldn't. First part of the season, he was pretty solid, but he fell off. He wasn't a part of the Dodgers postseason roster. He was stuck in the minor leagues. So Zach McKinstry hasn't been that guy, and I think the Dodgers realize that, hey, once you got a good one in Chris Taylor, you got to keep him. And if I'm Chris Taylor, I'm asking myself, what role do I want? Do I want to be an everyday outfielder? Do I want to be an everyday infielder? Now, he can hold it down at shortstop, but it's not like he's an elite infielder or anything like that. It's just the fact that he can play so many different positions and fill in if needed. I think the best case scenario is you have him at second base and one of those corner outfield spots. I think that is where he fits in best, but he can also be plugged in whenever a guy goes down, and that is a premium. So I do think Chris Taylor, he has a big decision to make. What role does he want to play? Where does he want to play? If a team like the Mariners wants to go crazy and give him $80+ million on a 5-year deal, I think the Dodgers won't vastly overpay for Chris Taylor, but I do think they want him back, and I think they're going to offer him a very competitive deal, not like Kike Hernandez and Jock, where they just wanted to see them gone. They basically told them they weren't going to be a part of their future. I think they want to make Chris Taylor a part of their future, and I think ultimately he does re-sign with the Dodgers. That's my prediction. I think that CT3 comes back to LA for a variety of different reasons, and I think that he realizes that this is the place where he wants to be long term. And also, look, he does go through his cold streaks. He does strike out a lot. If a team signs him, they're going to market him as this all-star. The expectations are going to be through the roof. They're going to say, oh, this guy is going to be the difference. He's going to be the reason why we get back to the postseason. And yes, we know that he's a major impact player, but I do think lofty expectations like that could potentially set him back just a little. And I just think he's happy with the role he has with the Dodgers. But let me know down below in the comment section, do you think that Chris Taylor will sign with the Dodgers? Who do you think is the biggest threat to sign him? What kind of contract would you offer him? For me, I'm giving him 4 years, $70 million. I think that makes him happy. You can throw in a club option for the 5th year. But I want your takes down below in the comment section. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMAC_LA. For all things Dodger baseball, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you want to see us post even more Dodgers content, smash that like button. For all latest Dodgers Nation merch, head over to GearUp.LA. We have a Halloween sale, 15% off right now, so be sure to head over to GearUp.LA. Download the Dodgers Nation app for my Android and iPhone users. For latest Dodgers news, head over to DodgersNation.com. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.